بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
So the first part in the Lisp components, we'll try to understand about the Ingress tunnel router and the Egress tunnel router. So we call it as ITR or ETR. So assuming that we have a source 100 dot network. The 100 dot network is one of your Lisp site 1. And then we have a site 2, which is again using 200 dot network, which is my another site. So this router is going to be your the source site, and this is going to be my destination site. So the first thing what happens is this ITR. So first let's talk about the ITR, Ingress tunnel router. So the Ingress tunnel router is going to receive the packet, and that's going to receive the packet from the local network, which is going to be a normal IP packet. So the normal IP packet, just like I said, whenever this user wants to send the packet to 200 dot network, it realizes that it is on a different subnet, and it's going to simply send the packet to the gateway. So the packet reaches the gateway. So the ITR is going to receive that packet from the devices within the local network. And these devices, as I said, it can be any of the device, like it can be of your host, server, or any endpoint device. So now the ITR job is to receive the packet. That's what it did. Now it has to do the routing, right? So now this device, now it has to decide how it should handle the packet. So now this ITR is going to examine the packet, whatever it receives, and it has to decide where and how exactly I should send this packet. So it's going to categorize the packet into two categories. One is if the packet is going to another Lisp site, is the packet is destined to another Lisp site. Like in my case, the packet is destined to here. That's the first example. And the second thing, there might be a case where the traffic might be going to a different network. Maybe it's trying to reach out some internet, and there is a server on the internet, let's say 5111, which is going to be my non-Lisp site. So there are two possibilities here. Either the destination is residing, or destination network is also a Lisp-enabled site, or the destination might not be in the same Lisp network, means it's not enabled with Lisp. So first, let's try to understand it is my Lisp site, let's say 200 dot network. So now it is going to forward the packet. So now it's going to forward to the packet, reaches the destination. Of course, it does the encapsulation of the packet. So the encapsulation in that, it's going to add out that to reach out this particular endpoint identifier. So what is the endpoint identifier? 200 dot network. And to reach out, the locator ID is going to be your ETR2 or whatever the IP address. Let's say 10.2.2.2. So that endpoint identifier is 10.2.2.2 or whatever the network. So that information it knows, and how it knows, it knows based on the mapping information. There will be a mapping server. We'll talk about this in the next components. So as of now, we assume that this ITR knows that it has to send to this particular route locator. So it is going to locate, and then it's going to encapsulate. Of course, it sends a request to the mapping server and get the information. That process will not discuss here because we have a separate topic where we'll try to focus on how it works. So now, as of now, we assume that this ITR knows, this router knows. So as of now, we are going to assume that this particular routing locator knows that, okay, in order to send this packet, it has to send it to this particular destination. So now it's going to encapsulate, and that encapsulation happens, and it goes to the egress router. Now it reaches here. Now this is going to receive the packet. So the first thing, it is going to receive the encapsulated packet from the Lisp transmission, which is coming from the remote site. And the second thing, what it is going to do is it's going to decapsulate now, because it has to send out to this in the form of a normal IP packet. So it has to remove that Lisp encapsulation, the header and those information which was added here. It will be added here, and it will be removed on the other side. And once it is decapsulated, the original packet is ready for the local delivery, so local within the network. So as I said, there are two possibilities here, the example 1 and the example 2. We'll take two examples. Let's say if the first example is example 1, or the first case where the encapsulation goes to the remote site, where the remote branch is a Lisp site and the sender is also a Lisp site. So the example, whatever I just explained, that is typically we can say like the encapsulation happens and the transit is going between the two different Lisp sites. So the same example we discussed in the previous, if I'm sending the traffic from the host 1 to host 2, the packet goes to the gateway, and then this router 1 knows that it has to send it to this locator, and then it's going to encapsulate the packet and then send it over the IP network or whatever the network which is built. And once it reaches, it's going to remove that encapsulation, that decapsulate the packet, which means removing this header and send it back to the normal IP packet. So here in this example, this is going to be my Ingress tunnel router, and this is going to be my Egress tunnel router. So the encapsulation and the decapsulation happens in this example. Now the second scenario, what if the traffic is destined to a non-Lisp site? Now let's say this is my source, and this source is trying to reach out some server on the internet, or maybe a data center on a remote location, which is not enabled with Lisp. Okay, so now there is a possibility that in your production network, you may have some Lisp enabled sites, as well as there are some sites which are non-Lisp sites. So we can say like this is my non-Lisp site. Like there is a mixture of Lisp enabled devices, as well as you may have some traditional non-Lisp devices. So now in this case, again, there will be an IP packet reaches the router. And then this router is going to decide where it has to send, right? So it has to identify the destination. So now it realizes that this destination is not a part of the Lisp network because it does not find any information for that. So it's going to simply forward the packet. So which means it's not going to encapsulate the packet. It will simply move just like a normal IP packet. So the packet is moving from this side to this side, let's say. So the ITR is not going to encapsulate, and the packet is simply forwarded directly to the internet or directly to the WAN network, whatever you have built, following a standard IP routing procedures. And then the packet reaches the destination server. Let's say in my case, it is a web server reaching without any encapsulations. So again, the web server is going to process the request, and then the web server is going to reply back to the right. So the reply is also coming as a normal IP packet. So now this is my another router which is going to be receiving, and that does not require any kind of encapsulation or the decapsulation. So it natively forwards the packet which is intended to the specific destination without any encapsulations. So now if you see in both the cases, we have an ITR, Ingress tunnel router, which is playing a big role, as well as there is an ETR, Ingress tunnel routers. And the difference, again, it varies. Like I said, ITR is going to play an important role in determining to encapsulate your packets, depending upon from where you are sending, whether the destination is going to either the Lisp enabled site or maybe going to non-Lisp sites. And whereas again, we have an ETR, so the ETR is going to be responsible for decapsulating the packet. So if you receive a Lisp packet, it is going to decapsulate and send it to the local network. So you will have a flexibility in your network, so you can merge and you can have both the Lisp enabled networks as well as non-Lisp enables, which is going to efficiently work and route the traffic to the remote sites without any problems, whether you are sending it to the normal Lisp network, whatever you have enabled, or maybe it is going to any non-Lisp networks like internet. It's going to work in a better way.